Spring has sprung, the grass is riz. I wonder where them boydies is. You alright, guys? Quieten down a bit. Calm. Anyway, what have I got for you lovely lot today? Well, we're going to have a go at this lovely little spring blossom with a little bird. So, come and join me and we'll paint this step by step together. Today's materials. My paper is some Hullamoula. It's a cold press finish, 100% cotton, 300 pounds. It's super thick. It's on a block, so it won't need stretching, but any decent watercolour paper will do. My colours today, 3 primaries, Cadmium Yellow, French Ultramarine and Alizarin Crimson, and just a touch of Prussian Blue, some Quinacridone Rose, Yellow Ochre, Burnt Sienna, Burnt Umber and Payne's Grey, and 3 brushes from my range today, 3/4 inch flat, number 12 and number 6 round. Okay, before we start, I've got a short 5-minute drawing exercise on small birds. So if we always consider that most small birds are made up of 2 simple egg shapes, one smaller than the other and overlapping at the top, then if you round off the 2 shapes so that they flow naturally together in these simple curves. Now a straight line for the tail, adding in the small details but keeping that natural rhythm and flow. So it works for all positions, even if the bird is facing directly towards you. Just think about those big simple shapes and then round them all off. Now, I'm no ornithologist and there are some excellent bird painters here on YouTube. I think I've already mentioned a few in my previous videos, Tom Shepherd and Paul Hopkinson. But using this simple method always works well for me. And here perhaps is a longer bird, maybe it's a type of pigeon and facing in the opposite direction. So here is the beautiful reference photo which I got from Pixabay, but I've cropped it in a little bit to bring up the size of the bird. Okay, so here's the pencil sketch, which is free to download from my website, link in the description below. Now he or she, a chubby little thing, and more details later on what he actually is. Off we go, and wetting the background with clean water, carefully painting around the bird. Now I'm only going to do the background a half at a time, using this branch as a natural divide. Now because I want the whole background to have that out of focus look of the photo, I'm going for a total wet in wet approach, and doing the whole thing in one go would be too much of a challenge, as the bottom half would bound to have dried before I got to it. So straight away in with some Quinacridone Rose, but any bright pink will do, such as Opera Rose, Magenta, Rose Madder, Girly Pink. Actually, I might have made that last one up. So I'm using my big flat brush for this, making sure I leave some lighter areas. Here just roughly suggesting some blossom shaped flowers, all still very wet in wet. Here I'm dropping in a very thick consistency of Alizarin Crimson. So, all my greens have been mixed from a combination of Cadmium Yellow and French Ultramarine, and just dropping into the spaces left. but I'm also quite happy if the colour blends in with the Quinacridone Rose. Now for this branch, and I'm using a mixture of burnt umber and French ultramarine. And because I'm working very quickly, all these mixes are pre-mixed and ready to go. Here I've made the mix a little more concentrated and added in more blue. And here I'm adding in a touch of clean water to create a little highlight along the top of the branch. So next I'm doing exactly the same with the bottom section, but this time going up to the bottom edge of the branch. So all the same colours again, and trying to make sure the colours and values are similar to the background above. So here I'm adding in more pink than there is in the photo, just to help to give more contrast and bring out the shape of the bird's body. So now we need to let this totally dry. So it's a perfect time for a short break. And what about a glass of early bird American Pale Ale? Love it. Next for this branch, and I'm starting by totally wetting with clean water. Then with my number 6 brush, dropping in along the bottom edge some burnt sienna. And I've softened with clean water just the end of this branch as it slowly goes out of focus towards the background. And then coming in with the dark brown mix again, including this shadow area directly under his body. Here, using the sharpened end of my brush to score in a few texture details. Okay, so now for these blossom flowers, and I still want to keep them fairly soft and out of focus, so I'm only going to put in a small amount of detail. So I'm re-wetting in just a few areas to bring out a little contrast with some green background, softening the edges with clean water. Now I just don't want to make these flowers too defined, as I want the focal point to be on the bird. So let this dry, then I'm lightly spraying this area here. Then with my brush flat to the paper, putting in just the mere suggestion of a few petals, very simply and not overdoing it. And the spray will also help to soften a few of the edges. Adding in some clean water too will help to get some good natural blends. Okay, so now it's time for the bird, and some of my pencil lines just might be a little too dark, so I'm just going to erase a few. So, re-wetting with clean water. And dropping into the underside a very subtle watery mix of yellow ochre. And then, with a little Prussian Blue, still going into the wet. So let me tell you a little bit about this bird. Now, I'm sure all of you over there in North America will know this bird very well, as he's only native to you. For the rest of us, we'll be saying, never seen one of them before, and he is the very snappily named blue-grey gnatcatcher. So, if he's a blue-grey gnatcatcher, we need to add the grey, and this is some Payne's grey. So let me tell you a little more about the gnatcatcher. He's very small indeed and likes to inhabit forests and shrublands. It's the northernmost species of a gnatcatcher and the only true migratory one. And despite its name, gnats don't form a significant part of its diet. So when that's dried, back on top with some more Prussian Blue detail. Then some darker value Payne's grey details. Now I'm not happy with that little blob there, so with some clean water I'm just softening and blending it in and then adding in a touch of pink. And of course the most important detail of all, his eye. Make sure you leave that little sparkle of light. There we go, all done. Well, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did and you'll give it a go. It is good fun and of course just make it your own. So as always, please don't forget to like, Subscribe if you haven't already. It is free. Leave a comment. I do read every single one. And of course, I'd like to make a big thank you to all of you who continue to support this channel and watch along every week. It really is appreciated. And all of you who've left a tip as well. Thanks so much. So, I'll see you all again next week for another Watercolour Wednesday. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.